to everybody present here. I am Sujata Rajkumar, privileged to host the International Women's Day event in this royal mansion. ಇಂದಿನ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮಕ್ಕೆ ರಾಜಮಾತೆ ಶ್ರೀ ಪ್ರಮೋದಾ ದೇವಿಯವರು ಮುಖ್ಯ ಅತಿಥಿಯಾಗಿ ಆಗಮಿಸಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ನಮ್ಮ CFTRI ಮಹಿಳಾ ಸಂಘದ ಅಧ್ಯಕ್ಷಿಣಿ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಸ್ವರೂಪ ರಾಣಿಯವರು ರಾಜಮಾತೆ ಶ್ರೀಮತಿ ಪ್ರಮೋದಾ ದೇವಿಯವರನ್ನು ಮತ್ತು ನಮ್ಮ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆಯ ನಿರ್ದೇಶಕರಾದ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ KSMS ರಾಘವರಾವ್ ಅವರನ್ನು ವೇದಿಕೆಗೆ ಕರೆತರಬೇಕಾಗಿ ವಿನಂತಿ. Srimati Pramoda Devi Wadiyar, our beloved director, Dr. KSMS Raghav to the dais. Thank you, sir. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೆರೆದಿರುವ ಎಲ್ಲ ನನ್ನ ಪ್ರೀತಿಯ ಲೇಡೀಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಜೆಂಟಲ್ಮೆನ್, ಇನ್ವೈಟೀಸ್, colleagues, it's a great honor to me to welcome you all for today's function. I once again heartily welcome you all. ಕತ್ತಲಲ್ಲಿ ಬೆಳಕು ಎಷ್ಟು ಮುಖ್ಯವೋ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಮನೆಗೆ ಒಂದು ಹೆಣ್ಣು ಮುಖ್ಯ ಎಂದ್ರೆ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಒಪ್ಕೋತೀರಾ ಅಲ್ವಪ್ಪ? It is a tradition to light the lamp before starting any auspicious events. A ray of light is a ray of hope. Light symbolizes the absence of darkness, grief and unhappiness. The lamp is invoked as a tamasoma jyotirgamaya, meaning the lamp leads us from darkness towards light. I request the dignitaries on the dais to light the lamp.
ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ. ತಾಯಿಯಾಗಿ, ಸಹೋದರಿಯಾಗಿ, ಗೆಳತಿಯಾಗಿ, ಹೆಂಡತಿಯಾಗಿ ಸ್ತ್ರೀ ವಿವಿಧ ಪಾತ್ರಗಳನ್ನು ನಿರ್ವಹಿಸುತ್ತಾಳೆ. ಮಹಿಳೆಯರಿಗೆ ಸಮಾಜದಲ್ಲಿ ಉತ್ತಮ ಜೀವನ ನಡೆಸುವ ಅವಕಾಶ ಸಿಗಬೇಕು ಎಂಬ ಉದ್ದೇಶದಿಂದ ಅಂತಾರಾಷ್ಟ್ರೀಯ ಮಹಿಳಾ ದಿನಾಚರಣೆಯನ್ನು ಆಚರಿಸಲಾಗುತ್ತದೆ. A very good evening to one and all present here. I take this opportunity to wish all the women a very happy International Women's Day. Think equal, build smart, innovate for change is the theme of this year's Women's Day. International Women's Day commemorates the inspiring role of women around the world to secure women's rights, build more equitable societies. This is a global day of celebrating social, economic, cultural and political achievements of women. The earliest Women's Day observance, called National Women's Day, was held on February 29, 1910 in New York by the Socialist Party of America at Theresa May. However, from 1975, March 8th has been designated as International Women's Day by the United States. Well, it's an honor to welcome Her Highness Srimati Pramoda Devi Wadiyar to CFTRI House in Cheluvamba Mansion. Here I am to introduce the chief guest to the august gathering. Srimati Pramoda Devi Wadiyar was born on 27th October 1953 to Srimati Puttaratnamani and Sri Venugopal Rajapals from the Bettadakote family of Westwhale, princely state of Mysore. Madam graduated in science from Sharada Vilas College and post-graduated in Hindi from the University of Mysore. On 2nd February 1976, Madam was married to His Highness Sri Srikantadatta Narasimha Raja Wadiyar, son of His Highness the Maharaja Sri Jai Chamaraja Wadiyar and Maharani Srimati Tripura Sundaramani of Yadu dynasty, which has the glory of over 6 centuries as rulers of Mysore Kingdom. The strong nature of her personality, coupled with a progressive outlook, talent, intelligence, and skills to make a mark, succeeded in her endeavor to carry forward the rich heritage and tradition. Madam's strength of will and character, perseverance, and the ability to fight adversities helped her to take over the 600-year legacy forward. Public at large witnessed with high adoration and evoked strong feelings about her impeccable way of conducting the royal ceremonies in the recent past. As patron of Sri Jai Chamarajendra Nursery Education Trust, Her Highness was instrumental in developing and transforming it as a successful educational institution catering to the students from economically weaker sections of the society. In the capacity of chairperson of Sri Jai Chamarajendra Art Gallery Trust, Madam has undertaken repairs and renovation works of Jagan Mohana Palace, where an art gallery is housed in order to preserve the rich art heritage. Her Highness has passion towards art and architecture and takes a keen interest in designing and is closely associated with the Wadiyar Center for Architecture at Mysore. Madam's love for animals and its welfare is evident in the heritage city of Mysore. The University of Mysore conferred on Her Highness D.Litt. Doctorate in 2016. Her Highness has recently started Sri Srikantadatta Narasimha Raja Wadiyar Foundation in order to promote heritage and culture by setting up Wadiyar Center for Excellence in Heritage at Mysore. Her Highness Srimati Pramoda Devi Wadiyar is the chairperson and managing director of Miss Wadiyar Investment Private Limited, Sri Venkateshwara Real Estate Enterprises Private Limited, and Mahisharu Royal Heritage Hotels, Palaces, Resorts and Spas, to name a few. I am sure the audience gathered here are eagerly waiting to listen to your kind words. With this brief introduction, may I now request Her Highness to address the gathering. Good evening to all of you. Before we start, I'd just like to make a statement that I just observed 1 minute silence in honor of the soldiers who were killed in the Pulwama. In connection with that, I'd like to say that our soldiers are upright and our honor of our country. And from all of you and from the citizens of Mysore, I'd like to express my deep condolences to the family members. Our thoughts are with them during their grief. Mr. Ravindra, Sri Parani, and the members gathered here. At the outset, I'd like to wish you all Happy Women's Day. And I'm happy to see so many gentlemen sitting here participating in this. Mysore has always shown no discrimination towards men and women, and this is proof of that. And for me, this International Women's Day, apart from everything else, is a celebration of womanhood. And I'm sure, like me, all of you are proud of being a woman. And if I can describe women in terms of, in a general, this is my own example, I hope. No function, no house, and no organization can
do without a woman's influence. However latent it is, but it is there. It is like sugar is always separate, and when you prepare a sweet dish, sugar becomes part of the sweet dish, and then you don't identify that sugar and see it, but it is there. The women are like that. We are there everywhere, but you may see them, but their influence is hidden in every act of any organization or any this thing. And I'm also happy to say that women are very progressive and they're ahead of, no offense meant, ahead of men in many fields, especially when it comes to any particular responsibility undertaken by them. It is proven that their commitment can be taken seriously, and then they fulfill their commitment on time without any compromise. Women come in different, as she just mentioned. You see women as a mother, as a wife, sisters, friends. But they all have one thing in common, that is an affection and a bond. Which is, I do say it exists amongst men, but the bond that is shared between women is a unique bond. And I would like to go one step further and say women are psychologically more stronger. Again, no offense meant. And it's the woman as a mother who guides us in our formative years. Yes, of course, the influence of both the parents are absolutely necessary. But it's the woman who teaches us everything we need to know. She is the one who makes us eligible to handle our difficulties, handle our problems. She is the one who gives us courage to face everything without any hesitation. And the mother is the person who literally helps you in developing your character. And a lot of women, I'm sure you all agree with me, your well-wishers or your soulmates, could be women or men, whoever, whatever it is, nobody can take a mother's place. When it comes to education, you learn your first, particularly in our culture, we have this practice of beginning the Vidyabhyasa with a certain ritual. And it is done either in a temple or in a religious this thing. Who teaches that is either a mother or your guru in the form of a lady. And we've all had women teachers, so I understand the importance of teachers' role in our lives also. As you grow, it is the teacher who, again, nowadays a lot of people go for tuitions. In our days when we were students, that wasn't, only when you found you were weak in a certain subject, you would opt for tuition. Otherwise, we had a lot of time to play and spend outdoors, which is a rarity in modern times. I don't see any school children playing outside. I hardly see any outdoor activities. They are either in front of a laptop or an iPad or a thing which is really doesn't help in any way. So my appeal to all the women who have children is to disassociate the children from that habit, and please see that their mental health is taken care of by allowing them to mix with other children and then develop. It's interactive. When a child interacts with other children, they learn a lot, they pick up a lot. And this, like iPad or a laptop, things like that, it teaches them something, but then it is not hands-on. It is just, it's like having your food with fork and knives. It tastes better when you eat with your fingers. It's like that you have to interact person to person. That brings about a definite, it builds the characters, and then it builds, in my opinion, that's a much better activity than allowing them to, introducing them to these electronic gadgets at an early age. And if you want me to talk about education is, of course, particularly in southern part of India, education has played an important role. Particularly our family has provided and gave a lot of importance to women's education. All the universities started, and the Maharanis College, and even a club was started by Van Villas when women were just, they had no forum to go out for recreational purposes with, they couldn't, there was an era where they were sort of constrained to their homes. So during that era, there was a club that started exclusively for women who could go and play tennis or meet other women. So being, coming from that family, I am no exception. I do favor women in many fields because, as I said, I have a lot of faith in their ability, a lot of faith in their capacity to handle situations with confidence. And if you talk about, nowadays a lot of people talk about empowerment of women. Empowerment is, of course, everybody needs to be empowered. It's economical independence is extremely necessary, particularly in this modern era. But that economical independence also, in addition to giving confidence, it also gives a certain extra confidence which can be sort of, it gives you the confidence which may or may not be required. That, I think, is if one knows one's limit, how to use that economic independence in for their own advantage, and then for the advantage of their background and then atmosphere at home, then that is a meaningful, and that means you're definitely economically independent. But there are instances where you sort of you tend to use that in a different way. It could be overconfidence, or it could be that additional this thing that you're independent and you don't have to be, or you don't have to restrict yourself or constrain to behave in a particular way or act in a particular way. Being a woman and being economically independent doesn't give any woman any right to offend anyone. That's what I'm trying to say. And in that sense, if every woman knows one's limit and stays within that limit and helps others in any respect or in any way she can without compromising on her own values is a point for celebration. And woman as a head of the family, I like to say head of the family because in many respects she is the one who runs the house. She is the one who maintains everything. And the decisions she makes, majority decisions, are never impulsive. It's always, every point is considered, every point is pros and cons weighed, and then makes up her mind. Whether it comes, be it her children's education, be it her daughter's wedding, be it choice of a daughter-in-law, be it any field she chooses her intervention with, interference. Again, I think I'm talking too much about women, but all this is not possible without the men's support. Today, that is, I'm trying to get it, equanimity and equality. That is the equanimity we should achieve. There is no gender discrimination. Equanimity or equality means both men and women jointly carry forward whatever they set out, whatever the goal they set for themselves or for others. In my opinion, that is equanimity, and that is what we need to achieve. And again, and the way forward is, we have, of course, we've seen women in all the fields represented, in all the fields, be it politics, be it sports, be it, I know there is, I know a high school girl who was represented Mysore in gymnastics and then wrestling also, so we've reached that level. So women have reached that level, and I'm very happy for all those who have done well in sports field. Only thing we need to remember is to maintain our dignity. Wherever we go, whatever circumstances we are in, one should maintain one's dignity, and that can be done only with with your inner strength and with your conviction and with your commitment to yourself and to your family and the parents who gave birth to you. You have to make them proud. Having said all this, again I like to take this opportunity to wish you all a Happy Women's Day. And again I will say I'd like to wish men also Happy Women's Day. They celebrate their women also in the way their counterparts, their spouses expect. At least one day they could. I'm sure many of them. I just heard a song I attended a function in the morning there. There was a song going on, somebody was singing a song. I said, Manayali, Henditi Minde Nanu Sipai. So it makes a lot of sense. So with that, I'd like to thank you for having me over here for this opportunity to share this day with you all. Thank you.
So, good afternoon, everybody. Dignitaries on the dais, Her Highness Madam Pramoda Devi, Dr. Saruparani, President CFTRI Women's Association, my colleagues, dignitaries of the dais, my dear students, ladies and gentlemen. At the outset, I wish to, on behalf of CFTRI staff and my own behalf, to express my deep sense of gratitude for Madam for her gracious presence today's function. It made it very memorable. I was mentioning to her, it is a homecoming for her. It is a philanthropic gesture of the royal family that we have the fortune of being housed in this palace. It's not among CSIR laboratories, 2 other laboratories were also housed before in the palaces, but they could not maintain, they moved on to new buildings, whereas we are fortunate to continue to be here. Perhaps this is the only staff still is here. As Madam mentioned, I am glad to see so many men this time. Normally it was under the impression that it was a wrong misconception that Women's Day is only for women. Perhaps it is more for the men than women. At least once in a year we acknowledge their gracious presence in our lives as mothers, sisters, wives, daughters, and in society at large. What is the role of women in society? As Madam mentioned, I will put different example. It is like our heartbeat. It is largely invisible, but it is the primary force behind the system to run. Why so important? Look at our scriptures also. It says, Matru Devo Bhava, Pitru Devo Bhava, Acharya Devo Bhava. So the hierarchy, the importance is clearly spelled out. So in our culture, we refer wife as a Ardhangi. Means at the best it is equal. Englishman went ahead, he said she is better half. So he acknowledged the superiority of women. There is a famous saying, God cannot be there everywhere to attend everybody's needs and requirements, so he created mothers. When baby is born, it is almost a second birth for women. At every stage of life, we can see mother doing so many sacrifices in upbringing of the children and also taking care of the family. She is the center of the wheel where she is bonded through attachment spikes through different family members. So her duty is 24/7, no casual leaves at home, not even medical leaves, because even she is not well, she has to do the minimum course of like cooking. So even after going back, she has to make her own coffee. Somebody uses the word working woman. I really don't understand that phrase. If someone asks me, is your wife working? I would say yes, she is working at home. So it may not be a salaried job outside, but she is doing so much work at home. If I start paying her every activity what she is doing, my salary is not sufficient to pay her. So then how do these ladies? They are doing double job. See, they have to work at home. They have to come in working here. After going home, they have to make coffee and give to husband. Very rarely you see a husband making a coffee ready by the time wife stands by. Maybe in the modern generation, some of the youngsters are sharing the daily chores more sportively along with the women. So as Madam also mentioned, woman is the first teacher of the child. To bring in a change in society, anything if you want to make in society, the change has to start from women only. If she changes in the household, then everybody in the house changes. So then entire society changes. Let it be Swachh Bharat, sanitation, or family planning or birth control, anything you take, her role is very, very crucial. So she has to be first educated, not necessarily by so-called degrees. Some of the doubts are raised in an anachronistic society whether women to be educated or not. So the Adhisthana Devata for education itself is Saraswati. Just now there was a beautiful prayer song sung by our student. Adhisthana Devata herself is a lady, so that it is proves beyond point that lady has to be educated, there is no doubt. all cultures and countries that have kept the woman at highest esteem and high pedestal, they flourish. Even the whole households where woman is respected, they are very, very happy families. I would say, like Shakespeare, all happy families are alike with the common trait where woman is given a good importance. As Shakespeare also said, all unhappy families are unhappy in different ways. Maybe perhaps this is the reason I attribute basically. So it is heartening to see girls' number increasing everywhere. Right from CFTRI school toppers, you take NIT, you take IITs. IIT is now 10%. They have reached 10%. In CFTRI itself, we have constructed more hostels for girls. All toppers are girls. So it is very, very heartening. When I started my career in the class of MSc, there used to be only 3 or 4 girls. Now, boys have become minority. Perhaps as madams have told, they have too much diversions. Whereas girls have a lot of focus. So they know what is clear about their aim, they go after it and achieve it. So maybe the boys have to be more careful. So now these few minutes I'll spend on the activities what we are doing. CFTRI Women's Association started about a decade back. They are doing a lot of activities, scientific talks by doctors, various competitions, excursions, industrial visits, maybe silk factory in Nandini, maybe for the cosmetics and sarees, but doesn't matter, still it is an industrial visit. Farewell to retirees. Under the societal activities, certain amount has been donated to cancer hospital where cancer patients have been given food on a particular day, that is October 21st, the CFTRI Foundation Day. It's a very, very commendable activity. They have been supporting orphanage over 6 years. One school, they have donated tables, books, utensils, stationery for about 130 children. While doing all social activities, men also have generously participated and not reducing the role of men. They have given the very good support for a helping hand. I wish to make an appeal before I conclude. In the Western culture, they celebrate different days, say Mother's Day, Father's Day, or Daughter's Day. They are busy around the year with their activities. Once in a year, on this day, they go with a gift to their parents. In fact, they don't realize that old parents will be happy the time that you spend with them rather than the gifts. These parents, mother and father, they have given their lives to raise the kids without expecting anything, not that they will bring some gift one day. So in our culture also, if you look at, we also celebrate Father's Day and Mother's Day, but we call that Shraddha or Taddina, means that day when they have died. But why once in a year? Our scriptures again gives the answer. The time scale for the alive and time scale for the dead is different. So for us 1 year is equivalent to 1 day for them. So once in a year you are doing, but you are feeding them every day. So that's how the slightest token of our respect we are showing them, trying to reduce our debt, which is not really possible. So I conclude by appealing to all of you. It is not just Women's Day we celebrate. We try to continue such activities on a continual basis, at regular intervals, if not on a continuous basis. We try to acknowledge the role of women in our lives, in working place, and also in society at large. I quote, unquote, "Dear women, you are half the society and rising the other half of the society. Don't say that you are equal, you are far more superior." Thank you all. Jai Hind.
ಬಿಫೋರ್ ಅವರು